Beginning today with winter. And first, seasonal recipes for cold winter nights from Hudson and Halls.
Hello everybody here and everybody at home, welcome to the show. Thank you for coming.
Thank you all for coming, thank you all for watching. We're going to cook for you today some glazed salted beef, which is a very unusual dish, and also my favourite, a beef bourguignon.
And our guest today is short, bouncy, bubbly, you'll
Makes
know her.
wonderful
She
soup.
carries on alarmingly, the lovely Barbara Windsor. Woo!
It's true, she does. They call her the soup lady. I'll just ship... Well, you know about Barbara Windsor soup, don't you? Anyhow, we're getting on with, firstly, corned beef. Now, apparently, and this is quite serious, where I come from down under, we call corned beef... I call corned beef, you call it, apparently, which is given that tin hiding the brand name, is what apparently English people are familiar with as corned beef, is tin. However, what I'm talking about is salted beef like this, that's sometimes called a brisket or whatever. Now, this one, that's just to show you what I've done here. If I can get it out. I've cooked one already, which... Oh, God, you're right, do.
Shrinks a bit.
It shrunk a bit and it's tough. Never mind. What I did with that, actually, is just put a piece of meat like that, or this is actually smaller than that, put it in a casserole about that size, cover it with water, add about a small handful of whole black peppercorns, a couple of bay leaves, an onion, that's all you need, and then most importantly, about 2 large tablespoons of raw or brown sugar and about 1/3 to 1/2 a cup of brown or white vinegar. Now, the vinegar is very, very important because when I cut this, when we actually finish this one off, and I cut it, you'll see it maintains and keeps that lovely pink of the meat itself.
I'm sorry, no, do go on.
So all I'm going to do, I thought you were going to speak, so I'm just going to pat this one dry, like this, dear little thing it is, and I'll put, division of hang
Actually,
fingers,
it
you know
is
they're
tough
clean.
when it comes out, Pete. I'll tell you what I should do. I should sharpen up the teeth.
I've been sharpening the knives, like crazy. I'm just putting this on. I've lined a dish with tin foil because David's going to make a glaze that will burn very quickly, so that's yours, Maestro.
Oops, not much there, is there?
It's enough for my
Well,
sandwiches.
it's enough for 4, really, isn't there?
Yeah, quite plenty.
Well, we were economically, see,
Plenty.
because we cut it in half. But this is silver side, and you can do, as Peter said, brisket or other types of beef, but it is rather nice. Serve it hot or cold. We use it all year round.
You get on, are you?
Yes, I will, Peter. You've got plenty to do. Well, he's been on all the time now, and tries to... Anyway, the glaze that we're going to do for you sounds a bit odd. This was done by a friend of ours called Beverly Levine, who's a dear friend of ours who unfortunately passed away last year, and we wanted to do this programme particularly for her.
Wonderful
her
cook,
recipe.
wasn't she?
We use a small tin of crushed pineapple, 1/2 cup of very bitter or strong marmalade, 1/4 cup of glacé cherries, 3 tablespoons of mustard, soft mustard, like Dijon, and 4 cloves of garlic, which you crush. Now, all you do is pop that into a saucepan and you boil that down until it goes quite thick. You can see it doesn't take that long, but it needs to boil for about 10 to 15 minutes, something like that. Then you just spoon some of that. Now, you don't have to put it all over, but spoon some of that over this, and this makes a lovely flavouring for it. And if you've taken the meat straight out of the water, the liquid, so that the meat's warm, you're just really adding an extra flavour to this later on. Now, this goes in the oven. It goes in the centre of a preheated oven, which is preheated to 200 degrees Celsius. That's 400 degrees Fahrenheit, or gas mark 6. And you leave it in there just for 15 to 20 minutes. Baste it if you want to every now and again. My sauce is boiling. And then you just take that out and it's ready to serve. I better take that off, sorry.
I tell you what, working here is like working in the oven. It's lovely to have your head in the fridge for a minute.
I know.
Now, we're also going to do, as I said earlier, beef bourguignon. Now, this is a very, very rich beef stew, and something now that the weather's getting colder, I think is ideal. I'm using about 2 1/4 to 2.5 pounds of meat, and just to show the size, I've actually done 2 meats here, skirt and top side. Shows how much I know about cooking.
You have skirt,
and then the
frock,
top
or
side,
trousers.
that bit.
Or a nice bit of rump's not bad.
Excuse me.
Sorry.
But what a lot of people do that I find, or I think is wrong, they cut their meat where they're making a stew. We're talking the principle here. I'll just stand up with my foot while I'm talking to you. They cut the meat too fine. So this casserole actually takes 2 hours to complete. So I'm cutting this in large cubes like this, so that when they do shrink a fraction, you're still getting a decent amount of meat. Because you're still, after all, eating the same quantity. Excuse me doing that, but glasses are running off my nose, because it's hot. Now, what I'm miraculously doing here, I've melted some butter, 4 ounces of butter, and about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Now, it must be olive oil in this because it's essential to the taste of the dish. And I'm combining the two, the oil and the butter, because I can get the butter to a higher heat without, touch wood, it burning. So I'm just adding the rest of this in here. And I'll get a towel, and I can't remember where that one is. Just stir this round, not to fry it, but just to seal that meat so that it's going to have all the juices actually done into it. That's going to catch fire in a minute. I'm having a wonderful time here. And there's my onions. Now, to this, I'm adding one, not too finely chopped onion. Just mix this round until it's slightly transparent. So we're only talking a few minutes here just to seal these juices in over a high heat. And then, I always believe in drinking what I cook with, or the reverse, quite serious. Pardon? I beg your pardon? I'm adding to this, I'm going to have a little courvoisier afterwards, so I'm going to add to this about 1/3 to 1/2 cup of very good cognac.
That's a bit more than 1/3.
So I can't see so well.
What's it called? Drunken stew.
Quite serious, the alcohol burns away. Very serious. You use a long match or a twist of paper and just like that. You see, now, never stand, I'm quite very serious about this, never stand over something like that because an alcohol burn really is terribly,
You've got enough heat going there already.
It's like being at a barbecue, isn't it? So let that burn off, and that, of course, has destroyed the alcohol. But also another point, and I'm going to add flour, which I will add. Why I lit the cognac is it imparts a lovely nutty flavour to the meat. I know, it's wonderful, isn't it? Anybody want to grill a steak while I'm here?
Got any old sausages cooked for later on? We do them now.
Well, actually, I'll kill it because I've added about a tablespoon of flour to... Oh, it won't go out.
Well, you did overdo it.
I did. Never mind. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt.
Now, here's a nice...
Get away. I haven't finished yet. I'm explaining a couple of things. It won't go out.
Like one of those
so you
movies
can see I'm doing that stupidly. Now, you can see how dangerous that is. And I was going to make the point as well. If you have, whatever you call them in England, a range hood, you know, the X-Bel Air, whatever it's called, turn that off, because if this went up, it could go into the range hood, and if you had one vented into the ceiling, it could set your house alight, and it would then become an expensive dish. So that's that. I'm adding to that now 3 cloves of crushed garlic. Could I get a bigger... Who gave me that? That's what I want. 3 cloves of crushed garlic. If you can see it, a bouquet garni, that's in there, that goes in, and just a little, I'm using herbs de Provence here, about 1/2 teaspoon, not too much because the wines and there are other things to go with this. A touch, would you believe, of pepper and salt, which I've forgotten all week. And finally, what I am actually drinking at the moment, it's very important, this part of it. Could I have the wine unless you've guzzled it?
Now?
Yes, please.
Really want it
So
now?
that's, yes, please.
About time. A Crozes Hermitage. Good wine.
Goodbye. So, as I say, we always believe in drinking what we cook with, or vice versa. So here we're using a very good French red wine, and you use a very simple measurement. Now, it seems a lot. See, no. Don't forget, I'm doing 2 1/4 pounds of meat here, and it's going to reduce, and also too, we're going to add other things to this. So this, normally, because we've got one already cooking, cover this, put this in an oven at 150 degrees Celsius, and that cooks for 2 hours. And during that 2 hours, before it's actually finished, we are adding other things to it to fill this up, to suck up all that wine, and boy, it's hot. Oh.
That's what I said to you, it's so hot. But at least it's clear. I hope everybody understood that.
Did you understand it?
You can actually buy it already in cans.
Here's
our guest today. Give a warm welcome to the lovely Barbara Windsor.
Wow! Great.
Little wine, Barbara. Oh, yes, would you like some
Is this beef stew already? I've been
Nearly.
waiting ages out
Nearly.
there. You shouldn't keep a lady waiting.
Don't carry on and
All
don't
right.
lose your cool.
Oh, boner.
A glass
Cheers,
of
all
wine.
the best.
Welcome, welcome.
Cheers, everybody.
Aren't they
to
lovely
see you.
people?
They're smashing, wonderful.
Because you cook a great deal yourself as well, don't
You don't
you?
even know I don't. That's why I married a chef. My
Yes,
lovely
you see,
Stephen.
that's the way to do it, you
Yes,
see.
yes. And
Where is your place?
well, it's in Amersham, Buckinghamshire, called the Plough Inn and Windsor Restaurant.
The what?
Oh, yes.
The Plough
Plough
Inn and Windsor Restaurant, and it's a little 17th century pub with a restaurant. We do
beautiful.
60 covers.
Beautiful.
Yes.
What's that mean? 60
Well, that's
people?
meant how many
I see.
people
Yes,
can
yes.
seat.
Yeah,
You see,
yeah.
I know the jargon now.
Yeah.
And my lovely Stephen, well, he's a chef, but he's not. He's out front now.
Yeah.
He's like the matron.
Bit like
Oh,
you.
he's made to
He's
do.
the lardy.
Out
Like
front.
you.
Not sort of fruit, I'm rude.
No.
He always was.
I know,
Why did he change?
it's true. Barbara, is there any hint that I read in the paper, I'm sure, recently, you may do another, they think you're doing another carry-on
Well, they're
movie?
threatening. I mean, well, for 3 years they said they were going to do one. It was going to be Carry On Dallas. And,
Yeah.
and dear Kenny, God bless him, was going to play, instead of
JR,
J.R. Ewing,
yeah.
it was going to be Are You Ramming? And, oh, bless it. And I was going to be the Poisoned Wolf, Little Lucy. But that seems to have gone out the window. I think we might be doing one of the nurses. They're the most popular ones, the doctors. They
Yes.
love all that, you
Yes.
see. But it seems to all come to a little bit of a halt.
Oh, it'll
at the
happen.
moment. It
because
will, I'm
the
sure
screen
it will.
can't be without you.
I think the public deserves to see a new one. They're so old, aren't they? I mean, honestly, you see that scene again.
She's lovely, and she's only 22. Now,
Bless you, but
we're going to
where?
get you to help David for a little while, if you
you're
wouldn't
kidding
mind.
me.
It's very simple what we're going to do. It's only opening some marmalade.
I'm useless at everything. Well, not everything, but you know.
I know what you mean, dear.
What the-
Look, what we did, now this
Yeah.
is very simple. I don't want you to get spattered, so I won't turn it up too high,
a bit
right?
silly cooking in this frock, isn't it, really?
Lovely.
Right, darling.
Lovely.
Well, it
Lovely
didn't suit
skin.
you, did it?
Not his colour.
I won't answer that. I'd have only got it on one of my legs. Now, all we did here, we did 20 little tiny peeled onions,
Yes.
a little bit of butter, and about 125 grams of bacon in a piece.
Yes.
Did it up in cubes. All you do is just fry it until it goes a light golden brown.
Brown.
Brown,
Yes,
like
yes.
brown Windsor soup, as
Yes,
Peter
of
said.
course, yes.
And then what I'm going to do is put that in the casserole. So would you mind giving that a quick stir?
Yeah,
Or don't let
is
it
that all
burn?
I've got to do?
Yes, well, you can
Oh,
lift it up
lovely.
later.
Oh, this is very nice, isn't it?
Well, we don't want you to overtax yourself, dear, do we?
This is lovely.
Right, now, if you'd like to put it in there.
Oh, my old man would be so proud if he saw me. That's just like
Quick stir.
I wish we could open the kitchen window.
Yes.
Oh, you've left
Can
the
you-
oven door open
Can
as
you
well.
see me over there? Because
course I
I
can
should
s-
be on a box, shouldn't I?
Quite,
Really?
dear.
I
Yeah.
thought you were going to wear stilts, somebody
I
said.
have. I've got ever such high heels, but I'm only 4'10".
4'2". You
Yeah.
can't even buy the Eastex range. That's a foot taller than you. Then back in the
glass.
oven. Now that's done 20 minutes or half an hour before you actually... Is that my one or yours?
No, that's mine.
Oh,
that's
that's right.
yours,
Now I can
darling.
see the lip is not my
Now,
colour.
also, too...
But that doesn't matter. I know where you've been.
Take it with you.
All right, darling.
Thank you,
I mean,
Barbara.
you need the exercise, you know, walk across.
This is
They
good.
are high
I love
heels,
it.
aren't they?
Yeah, yes.
Enormous. I can't even get into those.
I mean, look,
can
if I took them off, I'd be...
I tell you, if you... Oh, look, she's disappeared.
Where's she gone?
She took a shoe off.
Oh, come on, Pete, get on. You've got to cook it
What
up.
we're going to do now, Barbara, is add in... Oh, that's yours. I'll put it there, but it's right in front
Yes,
of the
dear.
camera.
You
then
have to
I can
hold
see
on to
other
your wine with
booze.
these two, don't
I know.
you?
Oh, it's one more. I've done 150 grams of little button mushrooms, little tight ones.
See, I don't understand grams, that. I'm still quarter...
Oh, well,
I get a quarter of mushrooms, half a pound of mushrooms.
Right,
yeah.
about a quarter of
All right,
mushrooms.
darling, yes,
Tight.
okay.
Trim off any little dead bits, but don't take the stalks off. That's what I've done. But I've got a mushroom brush, and I just brush these or wipe them with paper, and then rather than
keeps the
wash them. Because if
flavour
you
in,
wash,
doesn't
yes,
it?
if you
Yes,
wash them, it ruins them. So if you'd like to take your glass and those
Yes,
and
of
trot over
course,
to David,
of
thank
course,
you.
of course.
What are you going to do with those?
I
She'll
don't
tell
know.
you later.
Oh, I've got to go and get it out of the oven again. Hang
Yes,
on, love.
of course.
Sorry, I forgot all about that. Right, now we'll
Right.
get that out. Now, imagine 30 minutes has gone by.
Yes,
And then we
imagine.
pop those in, right?
Okay, dear.
Now, you can do them whole, as Peter said. Oh, I haven't got you anything to stir. You can't use your
well, hold
fingers.
on.
It's-
Shall I
yeah,
use
pinch
that?
Yeah,
See,
that'll do, love.
Then I'll
Right,
catch
quick
on
stir.
fast, don't I?
Yes,
Yeah,
you're
there you
very
go.
good. You're one of the best stirrers I've ever met. And I mean that with all kindness.
Where do I put the dirty dish?
Oh,
On the
drop it on the floor.
Drop it.
Oh, no. There we
Now
go.
that
Oh,
goes back
they're
in
all
the oven.
worried out there,
and
so we know.
they really only take about 15 minutes to do.
Yes, of course.
Now, what I want you to do,
Yes.
I've got one here that I made yesterday. They always say that on cooking shows. I made one yesterday. Does pay a chance, and I did. Because I always think, I don't know whether you do, that if you make a stew the day before and leave it and reheat it, you get more flavour in it. Now, what I'd like you to do now is pop a little bit of butter in with this flour, and you can make something very posh called beurre manier.
Beurre manier?
Correct.
All that?
Well, no, you can do a little bit at a time.
Yes.
Put about half of that in.
About that much.
Yeah, and squeeze it all in with the flour.
Yes. And
With the fork.
Oh, with the fork?
Well, with the spoon then.
Oh, with the spoon.
As long as you get it done, I don't mind what you do, but you can do it with your feet if you like.
It's not mixing up very well.
Go on, we'll cut it in bits.
Oh,
Explain the principle to her.
Just mix it all together.
Yeah.
That's it. Just bash it against the side
I see
of the
why your
bowl.
husband doesn't let you in the kitchen.
No, but I am useful in other departments.
Yes, I'm sure.
Yeah.
We'd like
That's
that one,
why
though,
it's
it's
come
already
out
been
front.
done.
Thank God for that.
No, actually, all it does
Yes.
is, if you're thickening something, see how that's boiling now?
Yes,
That's through.
yes.
If you thicken that with, say, a little bit of flour or corn flour, you might get lumps in it.
Yes.
So if you put a little bit of this in at a time while I stir it, what it actually does, the butter melts and then the flour makes that thicken. Go on, you try it. And you put a little bit in at a time, that's it. That's it. Also, too, it enriches the actual flavour of the stew.
Enhances is a good word, isn't it?
Enhances is a wonderful word. Wonderful word.
Yeah.
Now, it just depends. You don't need it too
Any
thick.
more?
Yes, please. Lovely, you're doing it beautifully. You've done this before, haven't you?
No, you know, I've done nothing like this ever before.
Well, you'll be lovely. What about in the kitchen? Do they have fights out the back in your kitchen?
Well, it's very much like showbiz, actually, isn't it?
I've just stirred some olives.
Oh, I
There's
like
20
olives.
green well, don't eat in, they're going in there.
Oh, I love
If
that,
they could
okay.
just go in there, because I always get my dishes wrong, you see.
Always got all my-
So I want
As
to
I
make
say-
sure all
yeah.
my viewers, my private viewers,
Oh,
know
shut
exactly
up.
what...
Go on,
Well,
what are you saying?
well, it is like show business, isn't it? Because, you know, you can have murders going on in the kitchen and then you have to come out front and go,
Did you say
da-da!
shoe business or show business?
No, show business. And it's very much, and it's like in the dressing room, I could be having murders in the dressing room and then I come, the curtain goes up and here I am, folks. It's very similar,
Was that
isn't
what
it?
all the noise was before you came on? Who were you killing, your old man?
Okay.
Do you think that's thick enough?
Oh, yes.
You
You
see
don't
what I
want any-
mean?
that's
No, well, as I
lovely.
say, you don't get any lumps, and it just thickens it
No,
nicely,
it's
and it's a
lovely,
beautiful
darling.
flavour. Now, we just top in the olives,
Yes,
about
I
20.
love
Now, that's
olives.
optional, you don't have to have them.
their bit. I cooked mine already.
Yeah, and that will just heat through. So, Pete, you can carry on now. We'll just stir this around while
Oh,
you do that.
carry
Want to
on.
help him?
Oh, it's a new movie, a new title.
Carry on, Hudson and Halls.
Yes,
What about
absolutely.
that? What about that?
Oh, that's love.
Oh, we can do, now we can do all the old things. We can do carry on cooking up the Khyber. That'd be a hot little number. And then, what else could we do? What's carry on nursing?
I
We'd have
don't
to
know.
change that around, wouldn't we?
We would,
Oh, we'd have to
yes.
do the kitchens outside. No, where it kills all the poor patients. They come in and say, oh, sorry, Pete.
That's fabulous,
Thank
isn't
you.
it?
As I was going to say to you and explain to Barbara as well, I know that shrunk a little with a huge dish like this,
It's
but I
just-
normally would do a piece twice as long, have summered with boiled as it is,
Yeah,
straight out of the pot,
yeah,
with a mustard sauce, which is
lovely.
gorgeous. And then, so we're really talking a leftover, so this bit, but what I've meant to tell everybody out there, which I forgot, is you put it back, if you take some slices off this, put
Yeah.
it back in the water to make sure you keep it lovely and moist, otherwise it dries out so
Of course,
terribly
of
quickly.
course, you're
Anyhow, I
so
better
right.
show, I'll just cut a few bits. You didn't take the string off this.
I didn't have time, did I? You were the one who did
You
it.
did it yesterday. Now, you see if that camera moves in. Doing that vinegar, as I said earlier, that helps preserve that colour and keep that nice, which is tender as tender. Where's the dog? I'll just spill this up.
I
That's
told
what
it's
you
gonna be
call
tough as
boiled
old
beef.
No, it isn't. I only simmered it for a little while. Anyway, this one's all right.
You've
This is
left
lovely.
Barbara standing on her own.
Oh, I'm
It's yours,
sorry,
is it
darling.
really?
It's lovely.
Whistle, sing for us, do us a bit of a number. Oh, that's what I was going to ask
What,
you.
dear?
Coming up to Christmas time, are you doing panto this year?
Yes, I'm doing a fairy this year at Bromley, Kent.
Oh, how
yes.
lovely.
Yeah,
What
they're
we-
getting all the plugs.
Yeah, what can we do?
You'd be, well, ugly sisters, wouldn't they be great?
Well, he'd need no
Wouldn't they
makeup.
be terrific?
Would he?
Oh, what
Wouldn't
did
need
you
any
say?
makeup, would he? You've got to be cruel to be kind, haven't you?
And I said, who would I love on out about all the people in Britain I could have on? Barbara Windsor.
Oh, you baby.
No.
And what a
Yeah,
shame we haven't
doesn't
got that
matter.
inevitable thing that normally we have on a set, parsley. So I'm just going to wipe
Yeah,
that
nice
dish
bit of
because I would
colour,
like that to
yes.
look nice. you see.
Now,
Agree.
what we would serve this with, now this is a lovely stew, as I say, it's all thickened, all the meat, the skirt steak, all that, thickened with the beurre manier, the onions, the mushrooms, and the olives. Now, these are not very big plates,
we were
but
having
one of
jelly
these will be
and
enough.
ice cream.
Oh, yes.
All right. Now, the thing is with this, what we would normally serve on a separate plate, not
Yes.
on the same
no, I
plate,
don't like it all
no,
mushed
all
in
mushed together,
No, it's not
is
nice.
something like some plain steamed cabbage
Yes, lovely.
and some plain boiled or mashed potatoes. It'd be absolutely
Lovely.
divine with this.
Okay.
But it's a
But
lovely,
you see,
rich
Barbara, as I was
dish.
saying to the audience, everybody at home, although I put in a lot of wine, this is now reduced down because all the meat's absorbed it, the olives have gone into
Yes.
that, and the onions, and the fatty bacon again. So you've got a very, very rich stew, although it is quite, it's not cheap, but it's, it is in the long
I
run.
worked it out actually with the
Did you?
skirt
To
steak
make it
and the
out.
other, the
We're going to sit
more,
down?
yeah, we will in a second, but with the more expensive steak, it was only 50% dearer to do it with the top side.
Got
That's
automatic
very
door
Top
opener.
side.
It's
Can we open the top
jamming
side?
lately.
Can we open the
look.
doors?
That's-
Now let's
all
take
right.
this through.
No,
You
we've got
no,
plenty
leave the
more,
one.
leave
You
that.
take it through. Take
on,
that one.
sit-
And don't
Sit in-
trip, dear.
Sit in the
No, no,
middle.
sit in the middle.
And if you
See you
feel
in a
you're
minute.
going round, you are. Not easy, is it? Oh, the bits hold away.
I thought-
I knew it. Why didn't I square off the bottom?
Going around that way, I always feel as though I've gone out. I mean, you know, anybody think we were, wouldn't they? But we're
I
not.
saw you do
It's
that.
Oh, it's well over.
I'm trying to push it back.
Isn't
Talk
this
amongst
a
yourselves
lovely
for a
way to
minute.
spend an afternoon.
Well, I think so, dear.
It was worth waiting for. You
Yeah,
were a bit
yeah.
late.
You haven't tried it yet.
then-
I'm sorry, but it was nice of you to come to the kitchen and help us. We're always running late.
Yes.
And just catching the dining room tires me out. I'll tell you what, running around the
start?
house.
Yes, if you'd like to try. Now, the other thing, you eat a bit. I
So
just
we're
want
just
to mention
saying to you
something
about
with
weather, if we don't all talk
Sorry,
each other.
beg
We're
your
just
pardon.
suggesting now as the weather's getting
lumps
colder.
there.
Well, you see, that's easier to eat, isn't it? And also, we thought it's an alternative for a Christmas meal. This is a change. And again, we're talking a leftover here. With that.
tender, or do you have to spit it out? You sure?
Great, it's wonderful.
Now, what if you
There's still an audience here. They're here.
they're all going drool, drool.
Don't eat
Barbara,
up and
if-
enjoy.
Can I ask
Enjoy,
you, if you
enjoy
had that on
already.
your menu, now one of the things about your menu at where you
Yes.
are, you've got different names for different dishes.
Well, yes, like Carry On Surprise and things like
Yeah,
that. Yes, and
yeah.
we call our wines the Merry Wines of Windsor, which I think is sweet. Actually, Daniel LaRue thought of that. I thought that's quite
clever,
good.
isn't it?
Yes, I can't. We've just had a new menu change, so I can't remember some of the names we've got.
But you've
You didn't bring one with you? Because we could have
Nah.
held it up with the
Oh,
prices.
you
They'd have
are
all known at
sweet.
home, wouldn't
You
they?
are lovely. That's lovely.
60 a
Please
time.
come and be my guest.
Oh, we said we'd come
So
down.
we're
then,
just
you
going to
Windsor.
say, Barbara, just for the benefit of you at home, these are alternatives to the colder weather, and we always explain to people what we're drinking. So what we cooked with tonight is what we're drinking, exactly the same wine.
Yeah.
And it does alter the flavour. Oh, I'm pointing at that, and I mean that, actually.
Yeah,
it
this
does
is
make a
lovely.
difference to the dish itself.
And the corned
And your
beef.
husband's listening, and I know you agree with me.
The other thing with that corned beef, it can be served hot or cold,
Yeah,
which is rather
makes
nice.
lovely sandwich.
Again, with something plain like some beans and plain boiled potatoes or
Yes.
potatoes in the jackets is
I know
rather
you've
nice.
said this before, but that is what we call our salt beef.
Yeah, it's just
Yes,
salt beef.
yes,
Yeah, we
yes.
keep calling it
I
corned
stuck
beef.
it on the back of my shirt, but I think it fell off to remind everybody I was cooking. But Barbara, to you,
Cheers, and
darling, I'm just going to
lovely.
twist that glass, got a tone chip in it, look.
Oh, try and
So
kill
don't-
her now.
I'm not. Thank you
Sue
very
us.
much for
It's like
sparing your
nobody
time.
would. Oh, thank you.
And to
Nobody
our lovely,
notices.
very quiet audience here, there really is one.
They're very
and to all the
elegant,
wonderful,
aren't
they're very well dressed up.
And
to
to
everybody
a
at home,
wonderful
God bless
season
you.
of pantomime.
Thank you.
yes.
And come back and do pantomime next year, won't
Right.
you? Next Christmas.
As
Right.
the ugly
We're gonna
sister.
sort you
Hey,
two
what about
out.
the front and the back end of a horse?
And you know a cow.
Again, he
Cow?
doesn't need makeup.
Sorry.
I beg your pardon, who are you calling
Doesn't
a
need
cow?
makeup again.
Oh,
I could,
God bless you.
I
God
could do
bless
the
you at
front
home.
end of the horse because I've got the
Oh,
teeth.
stop talking and eat.
God bless everybody, and
To
thanks
you,
for coming
Barbara,
in.
thank you.
To everybody at home, thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
And there'll be more creative cuisine from Hudson and Halls, aided by guest Stephanie Lawrence, tomorrow morning at the same time.